0-0. They started the game brilliantly. A couple of great saves by Ortega, but then in the 16th minute, Tielemans' ball into the gap. Forward went Rodgers, tapped it into Jhon Duran, and Duran put it over the line, and it was Aston Villa 1, City 0. In the half an hour since, City have been outstanding. They've had a chance for Guardiola headed over the crossbar, and a shot from Foden who was tipped round the post, and they were going at half-time feeling as though they played pretty well. But at half-time at Villa Park, it is Aston Villa 1, City 0. Well, I said Michael had left the commentary position, was on his way down to the sideline. He is indeed, and he's joined FG.
Yes, half-time from Villa Park. Manchester City 1 goal down to Aston Villa. First things first, the players are heading off. They've had a lot of possession, they've had a lot of chances, and it's been a better performance so far.
Yeah, do you know what? It was a really slow start to the game. We've seen Josko Vardiol get caught, Duran going in on goal, Pau Torres header near post. Just on this goal right here was a wonderful save on it from Ortega. Inches that the ball didn't go in, but there's lots of uncertainty. There was a little bit of a altercation at the end, and that's why it's so hostile. But after that goal, City started to control. They were better in possession. Getting control is one thing, having possession, we just haven't created enough. I think that's the one thing. Villa looked dangerous on the counter-attack.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a counter-attack, but 1 minute into the game, we could have been 2-0 down, as crazy as it sounds. After 18 seconds, Duran goes through on goal. Ortega makes a smart save. From the resulting corner, Ortega makes an incredible save.
It was an absolute worldie save. You know, we've seen Martinez do it recently against Forest, and then this one was literally in that top corner, and he sort of pushes it with that left arm, and when you see the goal line technology, it's literally by that much that the ball doesn't go in. But it was a scare for City. It wasn't a good enough start. We did react, we did get better with more control, but again, Villa goal was really slick.
Yeah, the Villa goal was slick. I mean, it was a great move. John Stones steps forward, and then Manu Akanji's sort of left in a 2-on-1 situation. It's the old City player, Morgan Rodgers, who takes the ball very calmly, plays it across, and it was a good finish in the end.
I think the work is out really on the press, and Tielemans just comes forward. John gets there, then he gets away, and he threads a brilliant ball because Rodgers comes off that left-hand side, and then the slide pass is really good in between Rico Lewis, then Akanji's got a race on. And then at that point, you're looking, what's Rodgers going to do? He was clever, he was unselfish, flicked it inside, Duran steps forward, centre of the goal, 12 yards out, as the goalkeeper approaches, flicks it left-footed into the far corner. It was a slick goal from Villa. City will be disappointed with that counter-attack.
I mean, Jack Grealish had a lot of the ball here at his old club. He's been brilliant. He's been taking on Matty Cash. Matty Cash is now on a booking. In the second half, is it more of the same? Get the ball out to Jack. He seems to be the outlet at the minute. The crossfield pass from John Stones has been brilliant in the first half. We're just not quite doing it in the final third at the minute, are we?
I don't think we are, with obviously the possession, the tempo, but clinical chances, shots on target need to improve. Goal, sort of real goal chances are not there, and that's something we've got to look at. But will Villa change? Will Matty Cash possibly come off at half-time because of those 1v1s? We might see Konza just drop down into the right-back position. They're the choices for Villa. For our point of view, we've just got to be a little bit better in front of goal, a bit sharper, a bit quicker.
Yeah, fingers crossed. In 45 minutes, we'll be back pitch side and we'll be a lot happier than what we are. It's 1-0 to Aston Villa at half-time. We'll head back to the studio where I'm sure they'll unpick what's gone on.
Thank you very much, FG. Guys, we've got to start from basically the very start. 20 seconds in, Duran goes through, and it's a bit of a let-off. How big is that?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and to be fair, we got out of jail. I mean, it's a great save from Ortega, but I thought it was a really poor decision to get a shot off when the ball was trapped under his body with his left foot. I think he had to keep going and engage the keeper, try and go around him and slot it in, but there was the warning signs were there straight away. A little bit of complacency, an extra pass when we didn't need to. We could have gone back to the keeper in one, but we invited another pass. And at times like this, where confidence is a bit low in the game, you've got to start right. You've got to start very organised, pragmatic in your approach. Can't take chances, and they give them a great opportunity.
We spoke about it in the pre-show, doing the basics right and not worrying. Is that a simple case of overthinking almost?
Yeah, well, sometimes it's about fundamentals in your game, and you always say, like, first 10, 15 minutes, can you get them turning, can you stretch the game, can you put the ball in their half, can you get numbers right in and around there, don't invite pressure, and then having a touch, then a square ball, then somebody and you're like, wow, like, you don't want this. It's one of those. So don't invite pressure. So yeah, you want City are excellent at playing out, but when things aren't going right, first couple of minutes of the games, it's one of those. Let's go and play in their half.
Yeah.
Let's go and put the pressure on them, because Villa are still nervous as well. They haven't had a fantastic last couple of games as well. But then you give them a lift if they nick the ball off of you or they intercept the pass. So don't invite that pressure. And
they absolutely got that lift. The corner after Ortega made an unbelievable save. It was millimetres.
Great save.
Yeah, it's a great save. It's a great set play as well, Liam, because there's movement. There's a decoy run into the near post, and then I think it's Digne arrives in that little space, gets a flick on it. But they've worked on that. Aston Villa, the first corner. This is what we're going to do. Organised, and it's a unbelievable save. How he manages to get his hand onto that. I mean, we're looking at the just where it was close now. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's. Yeah, and you're thinking at that point, you know, this could be our day, because two brilliant saves from Ortega. We haven't started right. They've had two great chances, but then we began to feel our way into the game.
Maybe this is me running before we're walking. I always feel like there's big moments in a season. Could this be our big moment? We saw it a few seasons ago with Jhon Stones' clearance against Liverpool, Aguero's goal against Burnley. These fine margins, they add up, don't they?
Yeah, but you can't rely on great saves. Moments of did it cross the line, did it not cross the line? It's one of those. We need to create more chances for Haaland. We need to get the numbers right getting into the box. We need more numbers getting into the box. We need to work the ball out to Jack Grealish earlier, quicker, and then we need numbers in the box. We can't just say, right, well, Villa have got 4 defenders back there or 3 defenders back marking Haaland. We need people to break off our midfield players and go and join in with him. But then likewise, out of possession of the ball is when if your midfield player makes a run, you don't hand him over, you go with him. You've got to do your job in possession, out of possession. Too many midfield players are letting their runners go, or runners are running off of them. It can't happen. You mentioned Grealish there. He's been in a pretty key battle with Matty Cash. He's looked good. And now on a yellow card, from a manager standpoint...
He's been a standout player, Jack Grealish. You know, it looks like something they've worked on this week. They're understanding that they're going to come really narrow, Villa, to stop our 2-10s in Gundogan and Foden. You know, so that sort of leaves the fullbacks a little bit exposed on one-on-ones. And Jack's touch has been brilliant, and he's decided to go. You know, I'm going to go at you and have a go. And probably the booking could have come earlier, because it suffocated right up to the end there. But I can't see them leaving that as the situation is now. I think they'll make a change. They have to make a change, because Jack is getting the better of him. And once Jack comes at you without somebody inside, McGinn always gets across. So then you can show him the line. If he comes inside, he's coming into McGinn. But if McGinn's not there, he's in all sorts of trouble. And Jack's got the measure of him at the minute. I think it's important that Jack plays high enough now to make McGinn's workload higher. Because if he comes deeper, it makes it easier for McGinn to be the first one that engages him. If he plays higher and McGinn says, well, I'm going to double it there, then Guardiola can step in that place and then tempt McGinn out. Then the little ones who's in and around the box. So the discipline now from Grealish is because he wants to be involved all the time. He wants to be involved, and he knows he's got the better of Cash. But if he comes deeper and goes more narrow, is when he's making the job easier for the defender. If he stays higher, then if Cash goes right, well, I'm going to go out and mark him. I'm going to nullify him. There's a great big gap between him and the centre back for Gundogan or Foden to go and exploit. But that's about Grealish's discipline now.
Grealish received 15 long passes that first half. Only Dominic Calvert-Lewin has received more at 16 this season. We are using him. We know Matty Cash is coming close, he's coming tight, and Grealish is exploiting it. Yeah, well, they've obviously looked at the way that Villa sets up, and they are narrowing that midfield. And it's going to give that opportunity to get that early switch on. As long as you can keep one of the 10s, keep attracting Cash, keep tucking him in alongside the centre half, then we'll be able to get the switch on. And then I think you've got to be really aggressive on that first one. Your intent has to be to go. We'll slow it down and come back in and allow them to get back into shape, because there might be 3 or 4 chances in the second half where we get a one-on-one where you can go on the inside and the outside. And you've got to be really aggressive with that movement. But I saw enough in that half to think with a little bit more intensity, a little bit quicker in play, that we can, I still believe we can go on and win this game. I think if we get the next goal, before 70, I think we win the game. Keith, you spoke about Haaland needing chances, wanting chances. He hasn't even had a touch in the opposition box this half. He's been starved. But let's talk our big moments, our chances. The Foden one on the 35th minute combined well. Do you think he should have done better?
No, he's done everything right. It's trapped under his body. You know, if he could have moved it, taken a touch with his left foot away from the goal, then that might have opened it up a little bit more. He could have got more purchase on it. But it's a save you'd expect Martinez to make. But it was a great little passage of play between him and Rico, little 1-2s, and we haven't seen enough of that. But it was a great bit of play.
And the other chance right before half time had us. Hands in head moment. Heads in hands? Yeah, we'll do that. And the header late on, what do we think?
He got too much on it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But that's the type of movement that he followed his run, got the ball out wide, followed his run into the box, and again, Grealish, end product. Getting him the ball is one thing, but so he's either going to be creating crosses. Or he's going to be trying to set some people up. What you can't afford to do is it fizzle out. And there's nothing wrong with sometimes just putting the ball in the box, because what you find out, if you get in the final third and you keep putting balls in the box, that encourages midfield players to get into the box because they know the ball's coming in. At the minute you're thinking like, well, is he going to cross it, is he not going to cross it, and you get too many people waiting and they don't get that half a yard. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with getting the ball wide, have a touch, put the ball in, and then your midfield players will make runs into the box, and then that will then occupy other defenders, and the next thing then you're creating space, and for Haaland, ball bounces down, one touch, finish, goal.
Let's talk Villa's goal. Morgan Rogers involved, ex-City boy. Duran scored. Counter-attack, we were set very far forward. Is it a case of we need to drop and be expecting that? Because, like we said before,
I thought it was excellent from Villa. I've got to give them great credit, But again, Keith spoke about, if there's no pressure on the ball, then don't make it a race. And, that's not just as a defender, that's also as a midfielder. When Tielemans has received the ball and he's turned, once he's got his head up, Kovacic has got to make sure that he's goal side, or he's got to make sure that Rico's actually given the information to press the ball and he's in a good position. Because once he's gone into no man's land and the Rodgers has come round the back of him and run, it was just so effortless. There was no great play. It was just a simple movement that exploited space. And once he got goal side, there was no recovery. And they did everything right from there. The weight of the pass. Every single part of the play was, and then he's played the ball into the ground, which has bounced over Ortega. But it shouldn't be that easy. You're either pressing with real detail and intensity with everybody behind, triggered, ready to go, or you give it up and you drop back into a mid-block or even deeper, which then causes the opposition different problems. And it was a really poor goal to concede.
Yeah, I think so you could tell they were set up, or City was set up for a press. And then as soon as John Stones has been taken out of the back four, and as soon as his lad has got turned, then there's got to be a warning and a trigger sign then for the Rico Lewis, especially there, defend your inside shoulder, because he's man to man, his man's out there. As soon as the centre back goes in there and his man turns, then as a defender you've got to defend your inside shoulder. Why? Because it's the closest route to goal. So you come inside there. The worst case, then if they play the ball out, then you go and defend your outside shoulder, and by that time then you shuffle back. Midfield players have come back in. But if you stay there marking that and you haven't defended your inside shoulder, there's a gap between you and the other centre back. As a footballer, I see it quite simply. As a defender, you think like, well, I need to defend my goal. That's the pivotal point. Where's the straight lines for your goal? Defend on that line.
City are making a change. John Stones for Kyle Walker. What's Pep saying to him in the dressing room right now, do you reckon? To
the players?
Yeah.
In general, I think a little bit quicker in play. I think as Keith has just said, we need to get more bodies into the box. Just to catch the eye of a defender. If you've got two centre-halves against Haaland and you haven't got somebody coming across your eye line to actually attract you, then you're always going to be able to suffocate the one striker. But once somebody moves one of the centre-halves, then Haaland can either pull off the back shoulder and get across. So I'd imagine up the pace a little bit, be patient, and there's got to be a desire to get back behind the ball whenever we lose it. You can't lose that side of it, because if it goes to 2-0, it's going to be very, very difficult. But there's been enough there. I think De Bruyne and Doku will play a huge part getting towards 70 if it stays as it is, because I think there's a threat there. And I still got a good feeling about the game. I still believe we can get something from this. I believe we can go on and win it.
I mean, the boys are there in the tunnel. Do you think it's a straight swap for Kyle Walker? Is he going to come in at centre-back?
With the players that are available, I'd say yeah. Playing more as a three. I think Akanji go there, Walker will go onto the right hand side. So you play Guardiola, Akanji and Walker.
What do we need? What do you want to see in the second half?
Goals.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Goal attempts.
Yeah. Or listen, it's too simple for us to say goals, but opportunities, putting balls into the box, make it a little bit more predictable for Haaland so he can make a run. Because there was a great passage of play where the ball came back to Gvardiol, who crossed it into the box. There was no movement from anyone because he doesn't know when it's coming in. If De Bruyne is on the pitch, then he knows the ball's been moved. On the next phase, when De Bruyne takes his first touch, we all move because we know it's coming in with quality. And just that little advantage over a defender can be the difference. So I expect him to play a part and get on the pitch, De Bruyne.
Perfect. Right, guys, thank you very much. The second half is coming up. Here is Alison Mann with the commentary.
Thank you. Welcome back to Villa Park. Pep Guardiola's made a half-time change. John Stones has come off and Kyle Walker's coming on. We can only imagine that that's because Stones is still feeling his way back to full fitness. Let's hope it's nothing more than that. Walker is not physically on the field yet. He's just waiting for the signal, but he's stripped and readied, and he's already taken the captain's armband off Bernardo Silva. Just one bit of housekeeping. Right at the end of that first half, there was a bit of push and shove involving Emi Martinez and Jack Grealish, and Martinez was booked. He was booked by the referee for officially adopting an aggressive attitude. So Martinez has been booked, and of course earlier in the piece Matty Cash was booked as well. Well, the truth is that City have